What's happening, guys? I'm Tech Source. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 170 laptop edition. That's right, guys. We're gonna be looking at some dope setups featuring only a laptop. No desktop PCs over here. But if you guys want to participate, you know what to do. Make sure to watch the video, link down below. And with that said, let the Setup Wars begin. You guys might be asking, Ed, what is this gorgeous laptop that's right in front of you? Nobody? Just me? Well, I'm gonna tell you anyways. This sexy laptop is the Envy by HP. Starting at just $799, it sports Intel's 8th gen Core i7 processor, up to 16 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce MX 150. This particular model has a 17.3-inch 4K IPS display. However, there are 1080p with touchscreen models available. With the Envy, you can do it all. You can use it for productivity or light gaming. Tons of connectivity, including Thunderbolt 3 support, an SD card reader, and even an optical drive. Who still uses that? With its full-size backlit keyboard, integrated Bang & Olufsen speakers, and up to 10 hours and 45 minutes of battery life, you can enjoy the HP Envy just about anywhere. To learn more, click the link below. At first glance, you might think this setup is powered by an actual custom PC, but it's actually hooked up to a 13-inch MacBook Pro. The purpose of the setup is for console gaming and productivity. He's got two 34-inch curved monitors from Samsung, sitting on a 98-inch countertop from IKEA, and that's being supported by a few 3D printed risers and Alex drawers. Now, since this is a MacBook-based setup, he did stick with the Apple keyboard and mouse, and I gotta appreciate the dedication to the all-white color scheme. I mean, apart from the color of the mouse pad, the wall painting, and the soda perks from Black Ops Zombies, which kind of give the setup a nice pop. I feel like too much white in any setup is a bit too bland. I love that Adam has 4 ASTRO A50s hanging from the wall shelves. 2 of them are for his PS4 and 2 for his Xbox One S. Cables are managed nicely underneath the desk with a couple of Signum racks, and it looks like the cables from both the Nanoleaf panels are routed through the wall. I'm not really sure if that's accurate because I can't seem to find the cables. Maybe it's photoshopped, but either way, it looks very clean. This setup is definitely, dare I say it, overkill for console gaming. I think we need to get Adam over to the PC Master Race immediately. But fantastic job either way putting all of this together. I love the presentation and the personality. Thank you for entering. This next setup from Chris is a little more straightforward, nothing fancy or over the top. It has its purpose and nothing more. However, it is a bit cluttered. It's used for gaming and programming, and it's being powered by an Acer Predator 17 with a GTX 1070. He's using a single monitor with the Logitech G910 keyboard and the G903 mouse with a set of speakers from Creative. There's actually a few things you can do to improve this setup. For one, if you need a more convenient way of using your laptop, I recommend buying a single monitor arm and attaching a notebook mount to it, allowing you to move the laptop around anywhere on your desk. You can also get a monitor riser to lift up the display because it looks too close to the desk, and this way you can store things underneath it to free up some of the clutter, for example those books you have or the router behind the monitor. It will also help alleviate any neck strain from looking down. Adding a pencil drawer like this underneath the desk will give you some extra storage space for smaller items like the RGB remote. And I also noticed you use a giant cable sleeve for the wires on the ground and a cable box to hide the power strip. However, I would recommend a wall raceway to hide the cables running down the wall. With all of these tweaks, I really think this setup would look a lot cleaner. The icing on the cake would be some personality. However you want to implement that, maybe some posters on the wall, collectibles, or simply adding acoustic foams for that extra spice. But either way, thank you Chris for entering. This next setup from Delwyn has to be one of my favorite laptop setups featured on the show because of the creativity and the attention to detail. Starting off with the dual monitors mounted against the beautiful Halistad countertop with the aluminum borders. Both monitors are hooked up to his pluggable docking station, which is then hooked up to his Dell Inspiron laptop on a vertical stand. It looks like he installed the same borders he put on the side of the countertop on the actual wall shelves to stick with the white, black, and silver theme. Apparently he wanted to stay consistent with his drumming set. One of the things that caught my eye originally was the placement of his speakers. So he mounted them underneath the wall shelves and he ran the cable straight down using a wall raceway. This way he's able to use the top of the shelves to store extra stuff, plus I think it looks cooler this way. Aside from the speakers, he also uses the Audio-Technica M40Xs and has a Blue Snowball microphone hooked up to his monitor arm. A hole is drilled in the desk for his peripherals, and those wires are routed towards the back into a channel raceway. The extra space between the table and the drawers from the capital legs allowed him to store extra items like his external hard drive from WD. A beautifully executed setup with lots of personality and attention to detail. Thank you, Devin, for blessing our eyes. At number 4 is Rohan with a simple, slightly modded gaming setup that he also uses for schoolwork and drawing. He's using a 32-inch curved monitor from Samsung with the Red Dragon RGB keyboard and a Razer Naga Hex gaming mouse. For audio, he's using the Beats Solo 3 headphones, which are resting on a custom-made hanger. However, he does have a pair of speakers that he uses as well. So he tucked away the cables inside the desk, and he routed the wires behind the monitor towards the bottom where he has his gaming laptop. It's actually a pretty clever way of hiding your laptop, but doesn't it get kind of annoying having to reach underneath it every time just to turn it off or on? I love what you did with the setup. You kept it really clean and simple and still managed to spice it up using a few Nanoleaf panels and RGB strips. Great work, thank you for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Will from Tennessee and a super clean and productive setup that he uses for music production. So he's got a 27-inch 4K monitor from LG that's sandwiched by 2 massive JBL speakers. One of the advantages of having an island setup like this is that you have extra space behind the desk to work with. In this case, Will took advantage of that space for his massive speakers. The downside, however, is cable management, because you no longer have that wall to help hide the cables behind the desk, and you will need to run the wires to a wall outlet, leaving a trail of cables. However, Will did an excellent job organizing all the cables underneath the desk and plugging everything into a power strip, so that way he only has one cable running across the carpet and into the wall outlet. Everything else on the surface has been kept clean and tidy with the help of the wireless peripherals. And I just noticed he's using a Mac Pro and not an actual laptop. Well, this is awkward. At first glance, I honestly thought that Apple device on the desk was a MacBook Pro, but turns out it's an iPad Pro. Anyways, it's a super clean setup by Will. Thank you for entering nonetheless. And that does it for this episode of Setup Wars. As always, make sure you guys vote in the comment section on who has the best laptop setup. If you guys enjoyed the show, feel free to toss a like, and if you don't, then you can leave a dislike, I guess. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.